Hello, my name is Vedant, and today we are going to discuss a very important utility tool that is provided by Google. It's called Chrome Cache View. Uh, you can find all the utility tools on this website. It's called Nearsoft. You can find it at nearsoft.net, and this is the website, and it contains a number of tools. These are really important tools that are really useful for the developers. Today we are going to discuss an important tool. It's called Chrome Cache View. Chrome Cache View is a small utility tool that reads the cache folder of the Google Chrome browser, and not only even Google Chrome browser. It reads almost every cache that is related to Google Chrome. It basically stores all kinds of files that are limitless to the user, both voluntarily controlled and involuntarily controlled by the user. So just imagine that if you are working on a web page, so and you are making a number of like 10 selections on that web page. So other than those 10, there are hundreds of options that are available for a user, but we are going through only 10 of them. But involuntarily, the other 90 items are saved in the cache memory that sometimes you don't even know that your browser just stored it for your future reference. These utility tools, like just like we have developer options in our mobile phones in both iOS and and Android, these utility tools are helpful for people who are developer kind of people, and they need their search result as most appropriate, and those who visit similar kind of stuff again and again on the same browser. So it helps in providing better recommendation on Chrome that you previously visited. For example, if I visited this website, yeah, it is about you only look once for the object detection. So the other images that just imagine that we just visited for few of the images, few of the codes and etc. for this. So if we are using this, our Chrome Cache view will store most of the other significant and similar data that is related to YOLO. So again, some people have doubt about why Chrome consumes a lot of RAM on their system. So just let's move to the history section of our browser, and here we see we have 320 megabytes of images and files that are being cached to the browser. So now clearly we know that this browser will become slow, and it will consume a lot of RAM on your PC. For also in this type of situations, the Chrome Cache view lets us know what that 320 MB exactly is. So without any further delay, let's open Chrome Cache view, and here is some description about the versions, about the data, about the commands related to Chrome Cache View, and this is where the magic happens. You can download Chrome Cache View on your system. I have already downloaded Chrome Cache View. Here you can see it is a zipped file. It is a very small file, not even 200 kilobytes. So it gets downloaded pretty quick. I have already downloaded this file, and let's open this. So there are three files stored in this. The first one and this third one is basically the documentation that we just saw on the browser, and the second one is actually the application we're looking for. You can extract it from any extractor you available to you. I've already extracted them, and here are these three files. These three files are very crucial, I guess. Mostly the first one, that is the basic application. So we're just gonna click it. So Here is the packets and the data that is being collected in the Chrome Cache view, that it is saying like if we select them all, this will give you 320 megabytes of data that is already been stored in your cache memory. And this is what it's consuming your RAM. For some people, this data could be completely useless, but for developers, this data is crucial. And for Apex searchers who need their data to be really precise, really accurate, and they need more and more data about their respective concern, it is really helpful to them. So here are a lot of images, text, text files, CSS files, front end, back end HTML files, web pages. As I told you that it does no none of the what do we say? No compensation, as it stores the smallest files to the largest files available. Like one file, we can see that it is a huge file. So let's just try and open this file. There are two ways to open this file. Is you can just double click and copy the URL that is available over here, or you can just right click and save the selected item. The file will be saved as a text file. I'm gonna save it as test1. I'll save it as test3 because test1 is already saved. Test3, and I'm gonna open test3.txt over here, and we can see this is the uh, file. All the data related to the packet is stored over here. The IP server IP address, the cache name, the expiry time, the file size, the type of the file it is, and most important, the URL. So we will just copy this and we will paste it in our web browser. We paste it over here. Sorry. There's some defect. I guess we copied the wrong stuff. Okay. There's this colon. We just copy this again and we paste it over here. So this is a GIF. I may or may not have visited this one, but this is most probably related to any of the websites that I have visited in the the previous time. I suppose it is based on AI according to my knowledge and my memory. So let's just close it and try some more image or something. Here we have another image. So we are not gonna save this. We are just gonna copy it from here. Okay, just copy this one and we paste it. Let's see. Okay. So see, as I told you that it saves GIFs, this big GIFs, which are like in megabytes of size, and such a small images that are in less than 1 KB of size. I suppose this is one of the logo that a website I visited a couple of days back. We'll try one more example. Lastly, okay, let's see this image. We'll copy the URL again. If you want, you can save the file also. See this logo you must have seen a lot at a lot of websites, like in every sort of downloads or any download websites. This app, this logo is available everywhere. So you imagine, right? See, we are not voluntarily opening or clicking on this logo, but it is getting saved as an image in your cache view. And these small things, every time you browse using your browser, gets stored into the cache memory. We'll try one more, a different type of file. Just save this one. We'll name it test4 this time and save it. We see test4 over here, and we just copy the URL once again. Just copy this one, and we will paste it in another tab. So since this file is in this extension, I really don't know what this extension means. So it will get saved in this manner. Let's save it and open it also. I don't think so it will open because we don't have an appropriate, see, we don't have an appropriate tool to open it. So just leave this one. We'll try one more, another thing. Let's let's use the JavaScript or something like that. I think we should use this one. Name it test7. We'll open test7 and copy the URL. This is a backend file, I guess, and this is giving some code in Java since it's a JavaScript, and actually it is a GitHub link. About GitHub it is maybe a front end or a back end to back end code over here we can see, and this must be related to GitHub somehow because I upload a lot of projects and I use a lot of projects from GitHub. So this would be it. And again, I would suggest that we should try all the different tools in the Nearsoft, but since we don't have that much time, so we'll be wrapping up the session. And thank you.